We're going to draw the stop block. The stop block is in inches, so we will use the English template, standard part file, click Create. I'm going to start with the base, cut the notch, add the top part, and cut these holes. We'll start a 2D sketch. I'm going to use the XZ plane. I'm going to go to the View Cube and click the rotation arrow. I'll get the line tool, start at the origin and click, and then just move the mouse at 90 degrees, and I'll type 2 inches. And then I'll go across at 90 degrees. That's 3.5. So I type 3.5 and hit enter. Then you can go down at 90 degrees and click on the axis. It should snap there, and then we can snap back at the origin. I'll finish the sketch. Zoom out. We're going to extrude that. And it extrudes up 1/2 inch. You can see that right here on the right view. 0.5. I'll type 0.5 and hit enter. Then I want to cut in this notch. So I'm going to make a 2D sketch on the top of this. Start a 2D sketch. Click the top face. I'll rotate this again. Our notch, the center of our notch is 2.75. So I'm going to use construction lines for this. I click on in format, this construction line. Remember that turns on and off. I'll use the line tool. Start in this at the origin. Click once there and then drag along the axis, and it's 2.75. So I type that, hit enter. This is where the center of my hole is, and then you can just do a construction line going across. You don't even have to go all the way across. I can right-click the mouse and click OK to finish that line command. I want to do the line the other way. Now you can right-click and use this context menu, Create Line, and you can then start the line tool again. I'm going to go over here and find the midpoint by sliding along the line till you see the point that turns green at the midpoint. Click there, go over. All we need is an intersection of those lines to locate the circle. I'm going to right click, go to OK. Now I'm going to turn off the construction line. Just click on that, it turns off. I'll get my circle and start at the center point. And I'll go out. The circle diameter, well, the radius is 0.5, so you have to enter the diameter in Inventor, so I'm going to enter 1. When you dimension an arc that's not a full circle, that'll be given as a radius, but when you have to enter it for drawing, it's going to be entered as a diameter, so you do have to double that. I'm going to put lines down the sides. What we're doing is making a shape that we can cut extrude to make the notch. I'm going to go down on each side, or I guess to the right. And then I have to connect these two to make a closed shape, so I'll do that while I have the line tool active. I can right click and go to OK, and that'll end the line tool, but then I want to trim this out. So I'm going to get the trim tool in the modify section, and when you hover over this, you can see what's going to be trimmed, and you can just click. This arc here is just a dimension line. So this completes my enclosed shape. I can click Finish Sketch, and I have my enclosed shape that I can extrude. So I'll select Extrude, but then I want to cut extrude this. So in the Extrude box, I'm going to select cut, and I do want to cut 0.5, half an inch. Click OK, and that completes the notch. Now what I want to do is add this this part and cut the holes. So I'm going to start a 2D sketch on this top surface again, drawing the rectangle that will be extruded upward to make this upper part. That is 0.5 across, or 0.5, and then we go all the way across. So I'm going to start in this origin corner again, go 1.5, I might have said 0.5, it's 1.5 across, and then up to the other side, and it'll snap at that point, and then you can snap at this axis point, and then back at the origin to make your enclosed figure. I'll finish the sketch. I've got that enclosed figure, so I can extrude that. That extrudes upward. It's going to be a total of 1.5 as the height, but then this base is 0.5, so I'm really going to just extrude 1 inch going up. Then I need to cut, I'm going to cut this hole in the front, so I'm going to make a 2D sketch there, and I can click on this front surface. I can use a construction line to go to the midpoint and bring a line down, and then I'll right click and go to OK. Then I need to bring the line 1 inch up from the bottom to the center line here. So I'll do a construction line from this lower corner up 1 inch, and then I'll go over so those lines intersect. I can end the line command, right click, go to OK, and then I'm going to turn off my construction line. I'll click there. Then I want to get the circle tool. Now the circle tool is also in this right click. I can create a line, or I can do a center point circle. So you can right click and pick that command. I'll go here and go to the center, and then that circle is 0.5 in diameter. So I'll click 0.5. Then I can finish that sketch, and I'm going to cut extrude that going through. So I'll click the cut option here in the extrude, and then that was 1.5 in depth, would cut all the way through. Then the last thing would be to cut this bottom circle through the bottom right here. So I'm going to make a 2D sketch on this side, and I need to locate the center of that circle. I can do that with a construction line. I'll click construction, I'll right click and go to create line. I'm going to go to the midpoint here and bring that down at 90 degrees. And I could go through, but I'll stop at that point. That really locates the center of my circle. I'm going to turn off construction line. I'm going to right click, go to center point circle, go to this center point that we've located. Now again, this shows a radius of 0.5, which would mean we have to enter a diameter of 1. I'm going to use that circle. I don't really need to cut it off or anything. I'm going to use that circle to cut extrude through this, and the depth of this is 2 inches. So I'm going to cut extrude 2 inches, and that completes our part.